Yeah, thanks for coming out. You know, a lot of work goes into recruiting, especially when you play as late in the year as we have the last 4 years. Thank our families, because people don't realize the amount of hours that we're on the road and doing recruiting meals and spending time with other people's families and not our own. It starts at the top with us, with Dana Hoyt and Bobby Williams, and they're at every recruiting function we need them at. The professors, the strength staff, our academic people, compliance, our coaching staff. I mean, the list goes on and on. Our training staff of people that help us in the recruiting process. Also, my coaching staff did a phenomenal job identifying great talent and then also explaining what we're doing here at Sam Houston State. I mean, 46 wins in 4 years speaks volumes for what we've done, and understand the vision of us trying to win a national championship, I think really captivates a lot of the recruits we have. Also want to thank our players. You know, probably our greatest asset is our football players. When they come on campus, they see a great culture. When they come on campus, they see family. When they come on campus, they see players who are really committed to trying to win a national championship, and they see camaraderie. And one of the things I'm always very proud of is how great a job our players do bringing the new players on as freshmen or as transfers to our program. So again, thank you for everybody who's involved in us recruiting. Signed 19 players. We have 13 freshmen and 6 transfers, 9 on offense, 8 on defense, and 2 specialists. They hail from 6 different states and Australia. We have 1 from Georgia, 1 from New Jersey, 1 from Missouri, 1 from North Carolina, 4 from California, 10 from the great state of Texas, and we have 1 from Australia. 10 of our 13 freshmen were captains. That tells you a little bit about the character of this group. And a lot of our junior college players were also captains. Defensively, the goal was, we thought we had to get a little bit more bigger and physical inside, so we wanted to find a defensive tackle that could, really help us when we're playing against the James Madisons and North Dakota States of the world. We also wanted to get an experienced linebacker, trying to get a safety that could, maybe play a number of different positions for us, maybe play both of the free and strong safety spots, but also come as a down safety. We found that. Got some young guys on the D-line, some longer defensive ends that we get a chance to redshirt and develop. So felt really good about the defensive side, and a couple of young defensive backs that are very athletic, that can play at a lot of different positions. Offensively, we're trying to replace the quarterback. We have a great high school quarterback we signed last year. He was the #1 high school quarterback in the country. Wanted to bring in competition at that spot. We did. We want to get a little bit more physical at the tight end spot, so we found an older tight end to come in. Wanted to get some offensive linemen that we could develop over time, some long guys that maybe are 6'4", 6'5", in that 270 range now, but are going to be 300-pounders when they grow into the weight room. Also needed to bring a couple running backs in, because we graduated 3, so we wanted to bring a couple young running backs in to compete with the guys we have. So. And then the last part of that with the offense was, we've had a great run of wide receivers here, and we want to continue to reload at the wide receiver spot. And I thought we brought a slot and a outside receiver that were every bit as good as the guys that we've recruited here in the past. Special teams, we went and found 2 pretty darn good specialists. One is a triple threat. He can kick off, he can hit field goals, and he can punt. And the other is an Australian. That reminds us a lot of Lachlan Edwards in terms of how powerful he is hitting the football. So, again, this recruiting class had some needs. I felt really good about how we matched those needs, and I felt that we really didn't reach for players, because one of our philosophies is you don't want to reach for players. Sam Houston's too great a spot. If you can't recruit a guy at that particular spot, wait, and sometimes you'll find a transfer later. But just so happens in this recruiting class, we hit almost all of our needs right away. Questions?
All right, Coach, we're going to open up some questions here from me. JP, do you want to get started?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned the 9 guys out of state that you brought in. Was there more of an emphasis on kind of recruiting on a national level?
I think it was 5 out of state, if I remember. Or maybe it was more than 9. You're right, because of the junior college kids. No, there wasn't. Our base is Texas. And then we happened to go into some of the junior colleges just because we thought we needed a couple older kids to help us on the defensive side of the ball. And then we found Woody sort of through Tim Cramsey, because Woody was at Montana State when Tim was there and knew he was at Riverside. And Riverside was really a very much of a spread it out kind of operation. So maybe he didn't get highlighted the way that he could be highlighted. So I think he snuck under the radar. And then we just decided we were going to take an older quarterback. We feel really good about the young quarterbacks we took last year, but we felt we needed to bring someone in that was going to compete immediately and make that room better. And my operations director, Brett Arnold, was at Rutgers and actually is a Lackawanna grad and sent Mike to Lackawanna. So we had a number of things working in our favor. Sometimes people think it's tough to go, to New Jersey or California and get kids. When you win as much as we've won and you've had the success we've had, everyone wants to listen. And the great thing is we got Mike here in November, and it was about 80 degrees out, and I think Briscoe had 400 yards the first half, and he saw those All-American receivers going up and catching balls, and he said, I want to be a Bearcat. So there was no emphasis on going out of state. It was really more the fact that we were taking some junior college kids, and they happened to be from out of state. Now, the 2 high school kids that we got out of state, that was just, what happened in the circumstances of recruiting the junior college kids. We happened to run into some outstanding high school kids that had waited a little bit too long and had lost some pretty good FCS offers and some FBS offers, thinking they were going to get, some Power 5 offers. And then through the connections we had in recruiting the junior college players, we got 2 of those high school kids to come our way. I don't think that's going to be a pipeline. Our bread and butter is going to be here in Texas. But at the same time, when you can find a great football player, you take a great football player. And we think the 2 young men out of California, the high school players, we think those guys were guys that, a little under the radar, got some pretty good offers, but they were waiting for some better offers. And then, we had an opportunity to get them here. So.
And then you mentioned bringing in an offensive coordinator. And earlier when we had talked, you kind of mentioned you wanted to retool some things on the offense.
Well, we're definitely retooling. One of the reasons Ryan did not take the job last year was my mandate that we were going to pretty much, keep the offense intact. After evaluating where we are offensively, we think we need to be able to run the ball better late in December. And God knows we've been playing a lot of games late in December, and those games we haven't had success. So, we thought we wanted to retool the offense, and so we're going to retool the offense, and Ryan's going to come in on Sunday to start that whole process. He'll meet the team Sunday night at a team meeting, and then Monday he'll start the thing off with getting our coaches together and starting to look at what we've done in the past, what he does currently, meshing it, and making some changes. But I think what you'll see is you'll see us play fast, but we're not going to sacrifice scheme for speed. So there's going to be some things schematically that we'll do a little bit differently than we've done in the past.
Coach, I know that the secondary was had some head-scratching moments last year. Do you think that you kind of helped those issues with this class incoming?
Well, I think it's really just more of experience. We love the twins we got last. We played 3 true freshmen a lot in the secondary last year, and that's just tough for anybody. Jalen Thomas is as good a corner I've ever recruited as a freshman. Zion, I think, is more of a true safety. He played corner last year for us. We're going to bump him back to safety. Tristan, who's maybe more of a down guy and played phenomenal in that triple option game we played against Kennesaw State, and he started. We're going to put him down as the buck linebacker. So we've moved some of those guys around a little bit, but I feel really good about the talent level we have back there. It just was more the experience level that I think really hurt us last year.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Mike Dare? Obviously, the video looks like he can sling the rock really well. And how is it going to help the quarterbacks you already have on campus, guys like Ty Brock?
Well, the thing, and the great thing is when Ty Brock heard we were bringing Mike in, he's like, let's go. That's what you love about Ty Brock. That's what you love about Eric Schmid. These guys aren't afraid of competition. And so we think we're going to have a great quarterback room. I think maybe as good as there is in FCS. It's tough enough to find one really outstanding quarterback in FCS in your room. We're going to have 3. And so, Schmid is that pure dual threat guy. 4.40, has put some weight on. A guy that can throw the ball well, but really hurts you in the run game. Ty's just gaining experience because the fact that he missed time his junior and senior year with injuries, but his ceilings, it's through the roof. What he can do. Athletic, long, throws the ball well, just needs to play more. And Mike, as I said earlier, Mike's is as polished a quarterback as I've ever recruited. The thing that's deceiving about Mike is Mike's very athletic. I mean, for 6'6", the number of times you see him pull the ball down, so you can actually run a little bit of that Baker Mayfield run game in our offense. Are we going to do that every week? No, we're not going to do it every week. Are we going to do that maybe 2 or 3 games a year that we need to? Absolutely. 2 or 3 games a year when we need to run that quarterback, we're going to run that quarterback. So I don't think you see us be a pure dual threat team, but we'll have some more opportunities with the quarterbacks we have in that room.
Coach, how does this young group of receivers fit into what you guys want to do this year?
Yeah, Dwaylen, I mean, everyone in that conference was shocked we got him. They kept on shaking their heads like, you're getting him? I mean, he was a guy very much like Davion Davis, who could have gone to Iowa State and had some bigger offers. Nathan Stewart had Memphis and some of those bigger schools, and they just wanted to stay in Texas. I think what helped Dwaylen was having 2 guys like we have that, I mean, it's very hard at any level to find a place that has 2 first-team All-American wide receivers, and we do. And so I think he felt that, you know, with Terrence Archer, his receiving coach, he could be developed into being one of those guys. And same thing with D. I mean, he's electric. I mean, we've got 2 guys that we think are really very comparable to the guys we've recruited in the past, and the guys we've recruited in the past have been, you know, first-team All-American quality players. So I think, you know, success begets success. I think one of the reasons why we've gotten the classes we've gotten is because, you know, with 46 wins the last 4 years, 80 the last 7. I mean, you're talking about Alabama, you're talking about Ohio State, Clemson, North Dakota State. That's about it, who's won more Division I games than us. And there's 252 teams that play Division I football. So when you talk about winning, that's a big part of it. And then the explosion that's happening on campus. I mean, you walk on campus, you're going to see $250 million of new projects that either have just been completed or in the process of being underway or on the books. And that's exciting. You know, it's the 14th fastest growing university in America. It's the 5th fastest growing town in Texas. So I think what's happening here academically, along with what's happening with the football program, makes selling Sam Houston an easy sell. And I think that's why we kind of fight above our weight class. We're oftentimes going up against a lot of FBS schools, and we're able to show bigger's not better, better's better. And this could be the best fit for you. It's such a homey feeling, and our players do an amazing job explaining the culture that we have. And I think the culture is probably the single biggest reason why we get the players we get.